this distress is often reported to us, usually through the embassy, or sometimes this distress reports come to us from social media, which we monitor aggressively and we respond to. Now, of course, you didn't offer me the names of the specific 5 women that you speak about, but we do know and have been working on support to various women who have had children considered to be out of status, and we have worked hard to ensure that we extend every right every Kenyan has. It is a position of our government, a position of our constitution, that every Kenyan has the right to their documentation. That includes birth certificates, passports, and so on, and we work very hard to ensure that those are done. So whenever we have distress, and at the moment we are still in the process of preparing birth certificates and other documentation that would allow women in that kind of situation to be able to both be documented but also be evacuated as needed. So to say that whenever we have distress, we need it reported to us so that we can deal with that. And whenever we have those reports, we aggressively deal with them, either from Nairobi or from our embassy in Riyadh. And as you heard earlier, we now have expanded our support in Saudi Arabia, where we now have a consulate in Jeddah, which is an area where a lot of our diaspora live. As far as Lebanon is concerned, as at the 13th of December, when we closed the 3rd phase of our evacuation, over 800 Kenyans had been evacuated and are now safely home. Beyond the evacuations, we do have about 100 women currently housed in various shelters in Beirut that we are working to evacuate. It is a bit of a long process that requires clearance through the general security of the Lebanese government and the preparation of documentation for that evacuation. All of these women have had the documentation from the government of Kenya's side already prepared and are going through the clearance processes to allow them to leave the country. In the shelters, we support them with food, we support medical care, with counseling, and so on. Upon arrival here in Nairobi, we have had psychosocial counseling and support, and have been able to take the women and few men who have been evacuated back to their homes in their various counties. On Turkey, allow me to say the following. It is imperative that any Kenyan who leaves the country in search of a job travels with the right documentation. It is extremely dangerous to move from Kenya as a labor migrant or as a worker traveling on a visitor's visa or a tourist visa to expect that once you arrive on the other side, you'll be able to convert that to a work permit. Let me be very clear. This is how we have ended up with a lot of human trafficking cases that we have been on the media over and over again cautioning Kenyans not to do this. It is important that as you explore opportunities in the global labor market, you do that using the right documentation. If you are going to work in Turkey, or you are going to work in the UAE or in the US or wherever, leave Kenya while holding a work permit. It becomes extremely difficult and very often impossible to move your documentation and your immigration status from a visitor or a tourist to a worker. So while we support Kenyans who find themselves in various kinds of distress, it's important to underline that security begins with you. And you must be the first one to secure yourself before the government of Kenya can come behind you and support you in your movement within the global labor market. Thank you.